Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another day, another beautiful South Florida day here with Miami View Women. I am Giselle Kovac, and I'm joined by my awesome co-hosts, Irela Bagué and Maureen Dorsett. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
And we want to welcome, we have a really dynamic and cool guest today, Maureen Porras. She is an immigration attorney by trade, but she is currently the candidate for the, you know what, I'm going to let you take it from here because you know better than I.
Well, good morning, ladies, and thank you for having me again. My name is Maureen Porras, and I am a candidate for state representative in District 105. And as you mentioned, I am an immigration attorney. In fact, I have been providing immigration legal services and access to legal services to many for over 11 years. I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in Nicaragua. I came to the US when I was 7 years old, and you know, my experience and the culture that I found here in Miami really led me to pursue a career in law. And I knew at an early age that I wanted to not just protect other people like me and also people that really are usually underserved, and but also I wanted to create opportunities for different people, because I had great opportunities here in the United States. And I think that, you know, with education and opportunity, we can really have a great functioning society. And my first experience with politics and law was actually my first, I believe it was my first semester in college at FIU. I majored in political science, and I interned for a summer for Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Layton, which we all know. and you know, it was such an amazing experience, just helping people. I met so many great people. And, you know, this is kind of a fun fact. Back then, I identified more as a Republican because my parents were Republicans. And so, you know, I wasn't naturalized yet, so I wasn't a US citizen. And so I wasn't registered to vote. I was actually 17. And so I really enjoyed interning and helping people. And, you know, the bottom line was the office was there to help everyone, regardless, you know, of your affiliation, regardless of who you were, we were there to help you. And so we participated in all these different projects. And I even did a massive citizenship drive with the Congresswoman and a lot of different organizations and lawyers. And I was actually part of it. I was actually filling out naturalization applications for people. And that at the same time, I actually filled mine out too. So, and so I was part of the process. I was helping, and I was part of the, you know, becoming naturalized. And so, yeah. And so after that, I quickly moved into immigration law. I worked for a law firm, and, you know, in college, taking all these different political science courses. I did take a lot of courses related to women's studies, and how they, and also related to politics and women in politics. And that's really when I realized, oh my God, we're so underrepresented, and we truly are. And you know, I read different stories from different congressional offices and women who had struggled, honestly, to ascend to government. And I was like, wow, you know, we really need change. We really need more representation. And through college, I realized you know, I really want to get into politics. I want to get into law, and that's what I did. So, you know, through college, I studied political science. I worked full time while studying full time. My days were really long. They started at 6 a.m. and ended at 9:30 p.m. because, you know, I was working full time at an immigration law firm, and then I was actually going to school right after that, and it was hard, but, you know, it was something that I knew I wanted to do. And then, you know, after that, I went to law school, and in law school, I was very involved in the immigration field. I was a student representative. I represented clients in front of the immigration court and in front of USCIS as a student. And then, of course, you know, after that, I took the bar, and I came back to work with some really amazing attorneys I worked in private for about a year after law school. And then I went on to work for a nonprofit where I have been working for the last over 4 years. And I actually manage 3 of our South Florida offices. I directly manage 3, and I provide technical assistance to 9 different legal departments in 6 different states. And yeah, and part of our work.
What's the name of the nonprofit?
It's Church World Service. We're a global nonprofit, and we are dedicated to promoting social and economic development across the globe. And we are all over. We're all over the globe. And domestically, we provide refugee and immigration services. And the agency is amazing. We have been struggling the last 4 years because of all of the different limiting immigration policies that have come from this administration. And so our main job, though, is to make sure that we're protecting people's rights and human rights and due process rights, and that we are serving our community, and that we're helping our community to become self-sufficient, to gain status, and to be good members of society. And that's what we do. And it's been challenging, quite frankly. I've actually risked my liberty to defend clients, and that's just who I am, though. I will definitely put up a fight, and I will not go down easy. And that has gotten me into trouble. And including almost being arrested by ICE, which was a crazy experience that I never thought I would experience it. And yeah, so that's what I do. That's who I am. And now that I'm running for office, I want to continue my service to the community. And I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity, and that we're really putting the best interest of the community above anything else, because I do want to make sure that our residents and everyone in the district and everyone in Florida is able to achieve whatever they need to achieve, and that they have they have people that support them and that do care about them and that elevate their issues and that care to resolve those issues. And that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, amazing. And you're so young. I'm so impressed. I have one question, and then I'm sure Giselle and Miriam will follow up. It's with regards to immigration, and you mentioned the policies of this current administration, which were horrific. Particularly the separations of families early on. It's just incredibly heartbreaking. And I would like your perspective and maybe like an update on what's going on, because these kids are still not with their families, many of them. And how are they being reunited? How is that process going? Because as a mother, it just breaks my heart. I get emotional from it.
And the concern also about their safety and health.
Safety and well-being, exactly.
With living in tight spaces is inhumane.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. I mean, the last 4 years have been just, unfortunately, the administration has created this environment of hostility and hate and discrimination, unfortunately, against immigrants. And they have passed any and all policies that they can to deter and to discourage people. And that was one of them. I think the administration thought, okay, look, let's separate, these families and see if we continue seeing people coming through. Believe me, nothing will stop a parent from rescuing their children from violence. And, they'll cross rivers, they'll cross deserts to get them to safety. And whatever lies ahead of them here in the US is better than what was back home. Right. And so there is no deterrence. There's nothing, I believe, out of everything. And I mean, there's so much, and I'm going to go through it really quickly, that unfortunately the administration has done to try to discourage, and not just immigrants, but attorneys. Wow. I mean, I feel like I can't help because they have also limited us. They have limited immigration judges. I mean, we have judges and government attorneys that want to help us, but they can't. Their hands are tied. And so, you know, the administration has done this, and so we can't do much anymore. So, you know, part of the policies that unfortunately the administration has been adopting, or one of them was separating families, parents from children. And even though, you know, I still hear of it happening, it's not happening at the level that it was. And the stories were just horrific. And we got firsthand stories where, you know, they would separate kids and they would tell the mother, you want to see them again? Or you may not see them again. You may not see them again unless you do this, you know, unless you do that. And I mean, it's horrific. And, you know, they tell us these stories with tears in their eyes, and they're like, you know, we beg them, please, you know, keep us together. And I mean, it's horrible. So that was just one. And yeah, and you know, the separation, a lot of those kids never made it back to their parents. There are still people that are looking for their children. I mean, there are lawsuits.
Do you have numbers? Do you have numbers?
I don't have those right now. And, you know, partly because so many different things have happened since then. And you think that's horrific. Other horrific things have happened since then that, you know, you kind of, I don't want to say this, but you kind of lose track of those things because the next huge thing comes along. And that has been the last 4 years. And, you know, and that's really what brought me out here and motivated me to run. And yes, I'm not running in a federal position, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done at the state level. And so that anger and that frustration is what really has led me to run too. So, but back to the separation, there were a lot of lawsuits filed. I mean, you know, lawsuits filed from parents whose kids were taken away and put into foster homes and by the administration, and this happened. And, you know, a lot of them are still trying to resolve it. A lot of parents were deported while their kids were still in the US. It's insane how a lot of this happened, continues to happen, how it was allowed to happen, how no one intervened. And you know, I know a report came out the other day that there were reports that there was sexual harassment or assault, you know, in one of the shelters. That's not new. You know, my comment was, yeah, that's not new. And in fact, it's widespread. And it's just that no one's listening. And you know, honestly, just no one seems to care. And so, again, it's been difficult because I think that us immigration attorneys, we do our best. We try to fight with whatever tools we have, with whatever authority we have. And, you know, we're just not getting any help from the outside. And a lot of people don't know about it. It's just what they read, that they, you know, they're not conscious of how the gravity of the situation really. And so, you know, again, that's only one of the many horrific policies that the administration has adopted and has thrown at us, and that we've really had to deal with. You know, there was also the Muslim ban. You know, call it whatever you'd like. It was a Muslim ban. There was also the migrant protection protocols, which is still in place, where you know, asylum seekers coming into the U.S. are being told to wait in Mexico, where they are subjected to kidnapping, they are subjected to extortion. I mean, I have had clients that have escaped kidnappings. I had one that was kidnapped along with a mother and a child, and they were put in a truck, and he jumped out of a moving truck to flee. But you know, the mother and the child didn't. So, I mean, again, we're subjecting these individuals who are supposed to be receiving protection here in the US, because we are part of the UN Convention relating to refugees, where it's our duty to protect these individuals. Not just our duty, but there's also, you know, a non-refoulement, meaning you can't send them back somewhere where it's going to be dangerous. That includes Mexico, because Mexico's dangerous, right? Or, you know, at least, you know, parts of it. And, you know, also there's also a stipulation that you cannot penalize someone that has crossed the border without authorization that's seeking asylum. And that is what they're doing. They're penalizing these people for crossing, you know, the border to seek protection. And we're not supposed to be doing that under this convention that we're part of. You know, it'd be different if the administration said, okay, we don't want to be part of this convention and, you know, remove ourselves, but that, you know, that hasn't happened. So in the meantime, we have to make sure that we're abiding by our rules and by, you know, the treaties, international treaties that we're supposed to be abiding by.
So basically we're ignoring those.
Yeah. And again, you know, much of this is like, well, how is this still happening? Why is this still happening?
And it's happening in front of the world. And this everything that's happening seems like nobody's able to stop it. Like there's just this force. And when you say they're penalizing them, I go so far as to say they're terrorizing them.
Yeah.
They're terrorizing the immigrants. To threaten a parent with taking away their child forever is got to be the most inhumane act on the planet. It's terrible. It's terrible.
At this point, I'm beyond rage. Honestly, whenever I hear something heinous or something crazy, I'm like, oh, another one. Okay. You know, that's how much I've had, honestly, in 4 years.
Well, thank you so much.
It's really frightening.
It is difficult, even though I'm sure there are days where you come home at the end of the day and you weep for the parents and the children that you've tried to help. But I want to invoke John Lewis right here about making good trouble. Thank you for making good trouble on behalf of those families.
Yes.
We do have
Absolutely.
victories, you know? Yeah, we definitely do have victories, you know, when we push and we fight, and they're, immigration lawyers are amazing right now, and they have really fought hard, and they're fighting hard, and they really are. And you know, I always say, if we can make it through this, we can make it through anything, I think.
I hope,
I think it's important.
I hope we don't have to prove that true.
I hope not.
Yeah. I think back a lot of the times when I hear these stories of all the giant injustices that have been done to masses of people over the course of history. And I urge people to not ignore what's happening, because at the end of the day, these children will grow up and they will become adults that are contributing to our world, and they will remember these. These are the types of life imprints that make effects that are lasting and magnified in ways that we cannot even comprehend. And children, impressionable children who really don't deserve this in any way and are being punished for no reason. It's not okay for people to stay silent during this time, and I think that those who do stay silent will end up regretting it immensely. So thank you so much. I want to echo the thank you and the gratitude for the work that you're doing. It's very important.
Thank you, and that means a lot. That it really does, and like you said, I hope that, you know, more people come out and support. And we really can't stay silent. We really can't. And these are humans. These are human beings, and we have to remember that. I think that, you know, we're undermining the value of life right now, unfortunately, and we shouldn't be doing that.
No.
I think
So how can people help? What do you have any action items that people can do?
Yes, definitely support your organizations that are working extremely hard to protect people's rights. Urge your elected officials to make changes. You know, we definitely have some elected officials working for this, but we need more. And I think that other elected officials need to hear it more from their constituents. And you know, activism is always great too, but we need change. We need change in the laws. We need change in the administration. And so urging constituents to reach out to their elected officials and letting them know that this is not okay and that they need to do something is extremely helpful. And honestly, we need good people to run for office too.
We need to elect more women in office.
We do, and
we've had this conversation on this show many times, and it's like, you know, I wonder how different laws would be in this country if more women, you know, or at least half of the women would be elected.
You're
You know,
seeing
half and half.
You're seeing
Why
all-
half? Why half? There's not half. There's not.
No, or equitable. Listen, equitable to our population.
I want 200 years of predominantly women-led government, just like they've had 200 years of predominantly male-led government. And I want to then, at the end, compare who's done a better job.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
I think they asked, gosh, I hope I'm right in this, but I think they asked Justice Ginsburg, you know, when do you think that we should stop, you know, putting women in the Supreme Court? And she's like, till we get to 9,
Yeah.
which is the number of the Supreme Court.
Of course.
And that's true.
That's true.
You
It's
know?
true.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I thank you for having the courage to run, because it takes a lot, especially these days, to run for office and put yourself out there. And, you know I talk to a lot of women that are discouraged from running because they're afraid of, you know, the spotlight and, you know, just the, you know, the BS that goes on, you know, they make up stuff, and, you know, they have kids and families and they don't want to put them through that. Again, a trait a woman would have, because a man wouldn't give a crap. But but, you know, always thinking of others, you know. But anyway, but thank you for having the courage and putting yourself out there, and putting yourself out there in harm's way for your clients and the people that you serve already.
Yeah. And I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote. Please vote, vote, vote. I know, Maureen, you've been endorsed by some amazing, amazing organizations like Ruthless and Now and Moms Demand Action, which is an organization that discusses gun sense, common sense around gun violence. August 18th, please go. Let's get women in strategic places here in South Florida and start making a difference.
Yeah, and thank you again. It was a pleasure to be here. And yes, everyone go out and vote. August 18th, the primaries, they're extremely important. We're going to elect a mayor, commissioners, state attorney, and, you know, a whole slew of elected officials. So again, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to be with you ladies.
No, it's and we have a few minutes left. I mean, I think it's an opportunity to really change the structure of our local governments primarily.
Yes.
And local government meaning, you know, whoever represents us at the state level as well, because, you know, it all, you know, trickles down. And so we have an opportunity for making some, you know, profound changes in our community right now at this primary, and in November, obviously a bigger one. But anyways, I don't know, Miriam, if you had any other comments to make on voting.
I mean, I have we'll also vote by mail. Definitely vote by mail right now. It's a safer bet versus standing in lines is never fun, for sure. But I have tons of other questions. I'm looking forward to just getting to know you offline, and thank you for your time today.
Can we put some of the links to the organizations that people can donate to or participate with?
Yes,
on our
absolutely.
page? Okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. Maureen, maybe you can.
Miami View Facebook page. Make sure you follow it, Maureen. And we'll be posting this show. Community newspapers, we want to thank them for presenting this show on their platforms and spreading the word. You know, we are a little spotlight showcasing some of this, but I'm glad we got all this information out with regards to, you know, the injustices in the immigration policies that we've been witnessing. So hopefully we're doing something about it by having you on and talking about them. And again, yeah, vote by mail. And there is a way to check to make sure that your absentee ballot got to the elections department. Okay,
Yeah.
So make sure that you do that online. It's super easy. You can check. I just put mine in the mail the other day, so I already voted. Woohoo!
Yay!
Me
Yeah,
too.
you can research your candidates too. It's a good opportunity to do that while you have it in front of you, and, you know, take a moment. So, and you can track it, which is the best part.
And there's some great resources.
Yeah.
if you want to educate, and I hope everybody wants to educate themselves on the candidates so they can make wise choices, you can go to the League of Women Voters website, and they have some information about the candidates and a sample ballot that you can follow if you want some guidance in that way, and it's nonpartisan.
Yep. And Ruth's list as well, and also the environmental organizations, because as you know, we have major environmental issues. That's part of my background. So major environmental issues, climate change issues, water issues, that all need candidates that are, that believe in science.
Yes, yes, and that absolutely, that's something that we need to bring more awareness of. And, part of that is informing people and getting educated on what's happening. What are the solutions? How can you become resilient, or we become resilient? And I think that we need to prioritize our environment. And especially for the district I'm running in, water quality issues are extremely important. And we need to make sure that we are investing in our future, because that's, our environment is our economy too.
Yes, and I say that all the time.
Yeah, it's the truth, and we need to protect it. I don't want it to just be depleted. Florida is a beautiful state. We want to keep it a beautiful state, and our water is our treasure. So yes, absolutely.
It's our life. It's our life.
It is.
Yep. So thank you so much again. Everybody, make sure you vote August 18th. Support as many women as possible that are running for office. We need to make that change. Any parting words, ladies?
Stay healthy, wear a mask, social distance, use common sense, stay home if you can, protect yourselves. Because when we work to protect ourselves, we're working to protect everybody. And let's start thinking of ourselves as a collective. We want everybody safe and well here in South Florida.
Yeah. And we wish you all the best in this upcoming election, and hope to see you up there.
I appreciate it, and thank you again for having me. August 18th is the centennial of women's right to vote. So yes. I think it's a fitting year. So hopefully we'll make it a new year of the woman.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye, women.
Bye.